How do you deal with angry customers? Some might say we can win customers over by being extra friendly. Actually, in this video, I'm going to share how friendliness can sometimes make unhappy customers even more upset. I'll also share customer service training tips and strategies that work much more effectively than friendliness when you're dealing with customers who are rushed or stressed. I'm Jeff Mowatt. For over 30 years, managers have brought me in to provide customer service training for their teams. Part of that training is about how to deal with customers who are reluctant. Let's face it, when it comes to dealing with customers, some jobs are easier than others. A masseuse working at a resort spa is likely to have more pleasant customers than a lost luggage agent working at a busy airport. If your customers are sitting in a chair in a hair salon, well, they're likely to be more relaxed than if they were sitting in an examination chair in a dental office. What about you and your customers? And I'm going to ask you to comment either in the section below or send me an email at jeff@jeffmowatt.com with the type of customers you deal with more often. Are they more often buying something that's fun, that they want to spend their money on because they're looking forward to receiving it? So A, is it fun? Or B, are your customers more likely to be buying things that they have to buy? In fact, sometimes it's a bit of a grudge purchase. So please either post in the comment section below or send me an email. What type of customers are you dealing with more frequently? Now, it's important to know that because if your customers are making a grudge purchase, like maybe they're paying for car repairs, then that means that our approach when communicating with them needs to be significantly different than if we're interacting with customers who are there for fun or relaxation. And that's why so many customer service training programs fall short. They are focused on making the customer's experience more fun. The problem is when you're dealing with customers who are reluctant, then employee perkiness is likely to be more annoying than endearing. That's why when I speak at conferences or I do training programs for teams, we focus on going beyond friendliness to focus on creating trust, even with customers who are rushed and stressed. Well, the question is, how do we do that? Picture this. A receptionist at a walk-in medical clinic greets customers with a, "Hi, how are you today?" Now, just think about the possible responses to that type of greeting at a walk-in medical clinic. One response might be the patient might respond with a fine, in which case they're thinking, wow, this receptionist must be blissfully ignorant to why we're here. How am I today? Assuming that this employee seems to be disconnected to reality. Okay, so the second response to, "Hi, how are you today?" might be, well, not good. In which case, that receptionist thinking, oh gosh, I'm dealing with all these grumpy people. Maybe I should look around for a job where I'm dealing with more pleasant people. And in today's work world where it's hard to get and keep staff, that greeting is actually creating the perception on the employee's part of, wow, this job sucks kind of thing, which is not positive as well. The third response to, "Hi, how are you today?" might be that patient goes into detail about their medical condition and how they arrived at it, what they did to resolve it, in which case, since that reception person isn't going to be able to address it all, it means that patient's going to have to repeat everything they've just said, adding to their frustration. All of this to say that employee perkiness when greeting customers is sometimes overrated. So what's the alternative when we're dealing with customers who are maybe stressed? And in this case, as a receptionist, if at a medical center, people are arriving for reasons that are not necessarily pleasant, what if the receptionist instead greets customers along the lines with something like, "Good afternoon." That's it. Either good morning or good afternoon, and raise the eyebrows. That patient or customer is going to then, they're smart enough, they're going to explain exactly what's going on, and they don't have to over-explain. The receptionist seems like they're tuned in to their surroundings. They're greeting the person and they're allowing the person to go ahead and let them know why they're there. which, let's face it, we don't have to ask, how can I help you? What can I help you with? Most people are going to tell us what they can help us with. So the idea is to not necessarily go for friendliness, but to go with building trust. And a big part of building trust is just reading the room and allowing other people to get that sense that you understand why they may be there. So oftentimes it's about dialing down your greeting as opposed to being overly perky. And here's one more scenario I'd invite you to consider when you're thinking about friendliness versus focusing on trust. And this time, I want you to imagine that we have an employee who's working at a call-in center for people who are having computer problems. So at some point, it's often a young employee, maybe it's a young man who's interacting with customers. And as that young person is interacting with customers, they're trying to be friendly and casual. And at one point, that employee might address that male customer as, yeah, hey, bud, hey, bro, hey, dude, whoa, betcha, right? Well, the problem is when somebody's calling into a computer center, a call-in center, a service desk, they're calling because they're frustrated with their computer and they just want to get it resolved and they want to deal with a professional who understands computers. So there are times where we don't want to be too casual, even to the degree of addressing them as sir or ma'am. And oftentimes I talk about my seminars about the importance of being at equal levels with that customer, not try to put ourselves above or beneath the customer. So instead, find out what their name is and use their name and address them appropriately. People don't want a lot of small talk. They want us to get to solving their problem. And then afterwards, if there's time, we can go into the pleasantries on any other things I can help you with on the computer while I've got you here. That type of thing. So the purpose is to create trust. It's not to create a buddy relationship because frankly, right now, they're not feeling too good about this computer or the system or the people who take care of it at the outset right away. Well, the bottom line of all of this is that exceptional customer service is not always about being friendly. Yeah, of course, we're going to be friendly where appropriate, but it is always about creating trust. Choose your words a little more carefully. Choose the expressions that we use with customers. And most of all, we need to read the room and get a sense of what type of mood the person is in and what's bringing them there. Are they making a grudge purchase or is this something fun for them? And all we need to do, make a few adjustments here and there. Well, I hope you found that to be helpful. And if you like this video, I think you're going to love my tips. You'll find them for free at jeffsbusinessbuildingtips.com. Oh, and by the way, as a bonus, when you register to receive those tips, we'll also provide you with what I call 15 phrases that pay for dealing with customers who are rushed or stressed. I hope you find that to be useful. I'm Jeff Mowatt. See you next time.